Good morning, good morning. This is Miss JJ, Jacqueline Richardson, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. I'm suffering this morning, y'all. This is the part that I really dislike when the winter time comes in. I'll tell y'all all about that in a minute. Let me just see what the weather is. Well, first we got to thank God that we here, you know. Now I thank God that I'm here with this sinus headache that I always get every year. Because some people didn't make it, so we got to thank God. Let's see what the weather here today in Charlotte. Alexa, what's the weather today here in Charlotte? Alexa, what's the weather today here in Charlotte?
In Charlotte, it's 36 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly sunny skies. Today, you can look for partly sunny weather with a high of 47 degrees and a low of 24 degrees.
Ooh, she said 24 degrees. Ooh, okay. It's kind of cold, y'all. Yeah, I tell y'all about my allergies all the time. I have allergy and sinus issues. Okay. And they're the worst when it's cold. I'm going to tell y'all why. We have to turn on the heat in order to stay warm, and it dries out my sinus cavity, which gives me a sinus headache. So this is why I have this battle all year round. Right now, my face on my right side feel like somebody punched me in it. My eye is probably swollen. I haven't looked at it yet. But yeah, this is what I go through all year round. I may have, out of each month, I may have a week of being normal and sometimes not even a week. It's a serious battle, y'all, the sinus and allergy issues. They wanted to break my nose and go in and let it drain. However, my doctor told me with my age, she thought that it wouldn't be sufficient for me to do that. Because going under anesthesia can actually wear the body. People don't know that. Everybody jump to, as soon as the doctor say, hey, we got to go to surgery, they jump to that and run to surgery. But your body can take but so much anesthesia, so you got to save that for when you really, really, really need it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to be jumping up under the knife, getting put to sleep, because it affects people differently. With me, with high allergies to different things, it can be more of a risk than a help for me, so I did want to tell y'all that. So y'all be careful out here, as soon as your doctor say, hey, let's go to surgery, you running off the surgery, because when you get old, your body may not be able to take being put under anesthesia, and you may go into cardiac arrest, and it happens all the time, so you try to limit those things while you're young, just because, you just don't know. What are we talking about today? Comprehension. Okay. I want to talk about comprehension because, I'm blessed to have the best of both worlds. When I say the best of both worlds, meaning I can comprehend my era, the eras after me, and some of the youth. However, the youth today have a problem comprehending what the other eras and generations are saying. And it's because, one, because they're taught differently. Two, they don't like to go to school. Three, they don't pay attention to school, even if they go to school. So they have a hard time comprehending. And I've seen even some people with college degrees that don't comprehend properly. People comprehension is one of the biggest factors of life. If you learn how to communicate with people and you don't comprehend what they're saying, that's a big skill that can hurt you. Okay. When I call it a skill, because it is a skill to be able to comprehend what a person is saying. That's where when you go out to get customer service jobs, that's what you're using, your comprehension. Okay, because you're gonna talk to the customer, understand what the customer is saying to you, and be able to think about it real quick, problem solve, and execute. Okay? Meaning get it done. Okay? So, comprehension comes with a skill. And we use it every single day. Every single day of our lives. Okay? We have to comprehend something. When we watch TV, we got to comprehend what the people are saying in the movies. When we listening to the news, we got to comprehend what they're saying. We got to comprehend what our kids are saying to us. We have to comprehend what our boss is saying to us. We have to comprehend when we see somebody on the street, and they may say something to us. If we in a car driving around, we have to comprehend what the other driver is getting ready to do. It's called quick thinking. Now, everybody's mind can't think quick, but you can also train your mind to think quick. This is why we call it a skill. Okay? And you can start by everyday things, Granted, I'm older, A lot of us are older. We've been through a few generations. So we've been doing this thing for a long time. When you've been doing something for a long time, what they say, you're a pro, right? Well, yeah, that's why probably I'm a pro at it, because I've been doing it for a very long time. Not only that, I took comprehension in college. I learned comprehension in high school. I learned comprehension in middle school. And I also learned comprehension in elementary school. So we've been learning comprehension since we are young. Comprehending that 2 comes after 1. And 0 comes before 1. Okay? That's comprehension. Okay? Understanding. We have to get back to comprehending what's going on, because like I said, I'm noticing that a lot of young people are having difficulties comprehending things, Now, I'm going to tell you a story I had at work the other day. Now, my feet was killing me so bad. Y'all know I had broke my toe a while back, and y'all know I have leg problems. I was in a bad accident, or whatever the case may be. So, when I put on a pair of shoes, my job, they got us working 10 hours, which is, it's not that it's that bad. It's that it's not fit for everybody, because when I was at Frito, I worked sometimes 10, 12, 14 hours, okay? But the thing about when I was working with Frito, I was able to go sit down when I chose to, if I needed to sit down for a break for a moment. You know what I mean? Because it's basically on your own time. So if my feet, I'm out here for 14 hours, and I'm like, I'm beat. I can go on my truck, sit down, eat me something real quick and, get myself together. However, on this particular job, it's not a freelance job. So I got to do everything on their time. Okay, so it makes it a little bit difficult for you. So if your body is saying it's time to sit down or it's time to get a break, you can't get that break until that time comes. See, I'm not used to that. You know what I mean? I've worked mostly jobs where if I needed a break, I can go get a break. Even when I worked at the hospital, I was able to go get a break when I needed a break. As soon as I finished doing whatever they asked me to do, what I need to do, and I'd be like, I got to sit down for a second. My back hurt, my side hurt, or something. Sit down for a moment, get a breather, and then get back up and move. This particular job has you working nonstop constantly for a matter of hours, 3 to 4 hours at a time, okay, which is abuse on your body. Okay, and granted, people do it because they need the money, and it's understandable. But it's not beneficial for me because it's breaking me down. Anyway, long story short, I had to change my shoes, okay? My feet was killing me. I could barely walk, y'all. It was unreal, okay? My feet was throbbing. My toe was throbbing. It was just feeling like my legs was going to give up out, from under me. And to avoid me, saying falling down or, putting a lawsuit on this dude if something happens to me in his building, I changed my shoes, okay? Didn't know that you couldn't wear certain shoes because everybody's wearing these other shoes, and I come from a company where if they want you to wear a certain type of shoe, they're going to give you a voucher to make sure that them type of shoes is on your feet. Okay. So I'm saying to myself, like, this company is a big company, $1 billion company, and they just not doing things the proper way. Anyway, so I changed these shoes And I walk in, and nobody said anything because they saw I was struggling with my legs anyway. And this one security officer says to me, you can't wear those here at work. Now, I'm past like 10 security officers, y'all. and he says this to me. So I'm like, okay, so what are you saying? So he was like, you have to change your shoes. So I already knew I couldn't change my shoes because my feet was just hurting that bad. And I already knew that I was going to have an accident, that my legs was going to give up out of me. So I wasn't doing that. So I said to him, okay, so what do you want me to do? He said, you have to leave. I said, okay. So I said, okay, I don't have a problem with that because I'm hurting anyway. So it don't matter to me. So he says, let me take a picture of your ID. So I gave him a picture of my ID. So I said, well, you going to go and let my supervisor know that you putting me out the building? So he was like, no. So he was like, you just have to leave. I said, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Oh, whoa, slow down. I said, now, I've been in security in the past. Okay, I worked security posts in New York, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, for many years. Okay? And when you putting somebody out of a building, okay, especially if they're working, and they're not causing no drama, how's my boss supposed to know that I left? They're going to think I abandoned my post, my area where I was supposed to be working. So he was like, I said, you're supposed to let them know. They'll know you ain't come back. So I left some stuff on my desk. Then I thought about it. So I really don't need that stuff. So he chose, not to comprehend what I was saying to him. This is young people, I just looked at him like he was crazy. So I said to him, listen, the way this works, okay, in a security firm, okay, when you're asking someone to leave a building, you escort them. Okay, that's the way it's done. Okay, and if I have to leave my post, I'm not leaving my post because I just felt like I want to abandon my job. I'm leaving my post because you told me to. You're supposed to take me to the HR, let them know, and then I leave the building. Okay, so I went the hell off. Y'all know me, especially when it comes to rules. You're not gonna set me up. Okay, because I keep telling people, I'll tell you in a minute. If you're doing something wrong, okay, and I know it's right, I'm going to give you the blues. Sometimes even turn into you might having a cry, you get stressed out, whatever the case may be. But do stuff right, okay? So he didn't want to escort me. He wanted to just escort me out. He didn't want to escort me to HR. So that threw a red flag up. Why you don't want to escort me to HR, walk me to HR and say, hey, I'm asking her to leave because of X, Y, and Z. These are the shoes that she got on and we don't want these in the building. Okay, well, why you don't want to do that? But if you're doing your job the proper way, why is it you don't want to take me to HR and let them know that I'm leaving the building? Okay? Because while I'm in the building, just like when you're in high school, when you're in college, when I'm in that building is responsible for me until I leave that building. So if I leave that building without telling these people, I have abandoned my job. Okay? So he refused to take me to HR. They told me I had to leave the building. I said, no, we ain't gonna work like that. So I pitched the tizzy. Y'all already know how I get down. You know what I mean? I'm quiet, I'm nice, and I'm humble. But when you're trying to play me, we got a problem. Okay? So this particular security officer better not ever say anything else to me because he's gonna get the wrath from here to day out. Okay? Because you're stupid. You don't comprehend, you don't comprehend stuff the way this thing really works. Okay? So you missed something in class when you was in security class. Okay? Anytime that you pinpoint a person and you ask them to leave the premises, you are supposed to escort them. A police officer, security officer, army, anybody. I don't care who you are. If you are a authority figure, you are supposed to escort them to where they need to go, talk to whoever you need to talk to, and then escort them out the building. He did not want to do his job, so he shouldn't even have a job, quiet as kept. Even though he was right, they told me that he was correct. However, he didn't want to let my post know, my job know that I had to leave the building. And he wanted me to believe that he was going to do it on his own. Okay? And that's not how things work. You don't allow people to, anything could have happened with him. He could have lost his phone. He could have got sick himself and went home and forgot all about it. And then I would have been the one in trouble if we could have never found this guy again. And they think I abandoned my job. Okay? So there's repercussions that can happen behind things, which he didn't comprehend. Okay? Which pissed me off. Okay? So, then I had to look at the fact that he's young. Okay? Not only is he young, he probably didn't even finish school. Okay? Because the majority of the young kids don't even go to school. And if he did finish school, then he missed a lot of things. Okay? And it's clearly it shows. So this is why I'm talking about this today. They just hire anybody these days. You gotta make sure that people comprehend what they're doing. Before you just give a person a job, especially a job of that nature, because fights can break out when people don't comprehend what's going on. And that's the biggest thing with people. And this is why fights break out, because people don't comprehend. Okay? They don't know how to do their job. Or not even a job, just on a regular basis, being outside with people, dealing with people. If you don't know how to talk to people or comprehend what they're saying to you, it can rub a person the wrong way. Their energy can change automatically, okay? But you have to learn how to think quick, try to understand what they're saying and what they're doing, and then react, okay? Because it can turn into a big issue because that person couldn't comprehend properly. Okay? So I don't know what they call it. I know, like, when I'm applying for jobs, a lot of jobs I have, you must be a fast-paced thinker. And I guess I'm going to use that word right there, fast-paced thinker. You have to be a fast-paced thinker. Not everybody has that gift. And this is why things turn out ugly a lot, People love the way I deal with people, especially in customer service, because I'm a fast-paced thinker. And my job is to make sure everything goes smoothly without issues. Okay? So that's, that's in any job. Okay? If my boss comes to me and say, hey, and this happens all the time, I need you to go and move to this area. And I'll look at him and say, now I could have just got here, about 15, 20 minutes ago, but he's asking me to move. So instead of me saying, why are you moving me? What is the problem? You know what I mean? I say, okay. And I finish up what I'm doing and then proceed to move on. You know what I mean? They may say, oh, no, using your phone. Okay. Well, I need to, how some people, they always got to have something, say something back. And I'm one that I just won't say nothing back. You know what I mean? I just be like, okay, this is the rules. You don't want me to do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But the reason people lash out is because they don't comprehend why. Okay? And see, that's the problem. When people don't comprehend why something is implemented, it becomes an issue. Okay? Or why, like I had to tell somebody recently that they was inconveniencing me, and they just couldn't get it. Okay, they just couldn't get it. And I'm saying to myself, like, why is it that you're not comprehending that you're inconveniencing a person? And then when they bring it to you, you're getting mad. Okay, now you're angry because they telling you that you inconvenienced them. You couldn't comprehend that you inconvenienced a person and that they're speaking up for themselves. Okay? This type of thing is being seen all over the place right now. Okay? And that tells me that this era before us, not before me, because, I have about three eras before me, 3 or 4. I don't know. But tells me that they're having a hard issue comprehending. This is why these newer kids don't read books. They don't write their music the way, like I hear a lot of the older rappers. Oh, these younger rappers is a mess. They don't write in bars. You don't understand what they're saying. How if they wasn't taught how to comprehend, to even comprehend what you're saying about bars, writing bars? You know what I mean? So I think that this was something that I don't know if they wasn't teaching them in school or whatever the case may be. Things change, people, and we have to realize that. When I was in school, some of the stuff that we was taught, I look at the way my daughter's taught today, and it's totally different. Okay? They make them with certain things work even harder, you know. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. And this is probably why they're having so much trouble with other subjects, because they're making it so hard for them to get through school. And I'm just going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. It's just difficult. Now, comprehension, we look at a subject like history. Okay. History and science, right? And reading too. Those three all come to play. And those is my easiest subjects. Okay, I will always ace those subjects. Why? Because all I had to do was read and comprehend. Okay? Read and comprehend, and at the end of the semester, I will have to write a paper. Okay? So that was easy for me. Just sit down and read. Comprehend what you read. If you comprehend what you read, you're not going to forget it. Okay? It's going to stay up there. You might have to go back and refresh because you may forget a date or you might forget a name. You know what I mean? But the actual story itself, if you comprehended it, you're not going to forget it. So it comes like second nature because you already read it. You already knew about it. So you put it in the back of your brain. So as soon as you see it or have to remember it, you're going to remember the steps to it. Okay? The steps of that story. Okay? So it's really not that difficult. But my thing is, what are they teaching these kids? These kids are not learning this. Okay? Now, I try to tell my daughter, y'all know she's been in homeschool. You know, she's getting older now, so now she's like voicing her opinion so much. And I try to tell her, like, you know, I get what they're teaching you. But I'm trying to teach you an easier way for you to get through this real easy. But she just don't want to listen to me because, you know, the teachers are always right. They're making, these people that's making these curriculums are making it more harder for them. Okay? I don't know why. You know, I'm glad I came from the era where they allowed you to be who you are and not make you to be someone else. Okay? And that's what they're doing today. This is what I'm seeing. Okay? For the newer generation, okay, they're having a big issue learning how to comprehend. I can't talk to the kids with educated words. They look at me like I'm crazy, especially the teenagers. I have to talk to them like I'm 15 or 16 years old. But this is why they communicate with me, because I understand them, okay? Even with my daughter, she's 11. I can't say certain things to her because she's not going to understand what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, what's the peanuts when, I think it's the peanuts and they be the womp, 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 womp. That's what they're hearing because they don't understand. They don't comprehend it. So they move on to the next thing. You know, like, okay, whatever she was saying, because I don't know what she was saying. She crazy. But it's not that you crazy. They don't comprehend it. So to them, you look crazy, you know? I hope and pray that our new president really looks into the curriculums that's going on in the schools right now, okay? Because I'm not only seeing it, it's not just one kid. It's not just two kids. It's all these kids. It's all these people that I'm touching base with on a daily basis. I look at them and I say, and sometimes I have to think for a moment in order to comprehend what they're saying, because it's like, you how old and you saying what? Okay, they must then teach this poor child, you know, and I'm talking 19, 20, 25, 30, people that's been to college, and they're not comprehending basic stuff. Basic things. And you're saying, you know, why? You know, why is this happening? You know, it's not because they are stupid or lack common sense, because then if you watch them, they have common sense with certain things, but won't have common sense with other things. It's because this is the way they were taught. So now, we got to look at the curriculum, the school curriculum, and see why these kids are not comprehending. Okay? What did the government do and take out of the curriculum for these kids to be the way they are, where they can't function in a normal setting or keep things in a normal order? Something that's basic, easy. When I look into, like, I go to work on Sundays, right? And every Sunday, it's always some drama. If you don't get to work on time, meaning you could be to work on time, but if you don't get there early, okay, you won't get a spot. So now you got to stand up. Who did the scheduling? You got 30 people standing on the clock. Who did the scheduling? Some of the people was in for overtime. Why is these people here if you have this amount of people coming in and you got all these other people here? Who did the scheduling? This stuff is common sense. You know what I mean? So I don't get some of the things. So I'm starting to blame it on, we will always say, oh, these dummies, these kids are stupid today, blah, blah, blah. It's the way they think. Yeah, it is the way they think. And it's not their fault. It's the way they're being taught. So now we got to look at the schools. We got to look at the government and what they keep implementing. Now, they have given my daughter, a math, and they did it in Maryland as well. But Maryland, what they did was brought the parents out and made us do a class. I was pissed off, y'all. I come from working in Baltimore, and worked sometimes 12 hours a day. And I got a 2-day class so I can help my child with his homework, his math homework. Okay, I used to be pissed off. But, I was thankful that Maryland did it so I could help them, So now I got to sit up in this class. Well, they would do it like in the lunchroom, but they have us all up there and the teachers and, to give us the steps. And we had to do this for 2 nights straight. Okay? 2 nights straight. We had to do it. To teach our kids this math. And I'm saying to myself, okay, now, 2 plus 3 is 5. Why do I got to go through these other steps to get 2 plus 3 is 5? Because this is the way they want them to learn it. Okay? The same with algebra. They got them learning algebra like it's unreal the way they're making them do this thing. Okay? Unreal. I believe, like back in my era, and I'm going to tell y'all, back in my era, when I was in high school and I would take those, they give you the tests every year to see where your levels is at. I've always had college scores, and I believe a lot of other people had the same. And they wanted to stop these kids from getting college scores when they're in lower grades. This is what I'm thinking. I'm not saying that this is what happened, y'all. This is just what I'm thinking. Okay? Why the kids just running through the schoolwork? So they wanted to make it confusing to keep school in place or to keep teachers, pretty much, jobs. Okay? And I'm just giving it to y'all the way I see it. Because I'm going with this battle every single day of my lives. I have to live with it. When I go out to work, when I go out in the street, I got to live with these these kids that's just dummies because of what they've done. Okay? Why destroy something that's good? Okay? This is what I can't understand. And this is what our government does to us. They destroy stuff that's good. And then now we have a bunch of children that can't even read books. That don't even comprehend. Okay? Why? Why would you do this to our country? This is what's pissing me off. Now I got to fight with my child to teach her the way I was taught so she can get through this thing and let it go. Okay? But no, she's having this battle because she wants to learn it the way they teach her. But she's going in circles. Why? They done got her to the point where she don't even want to read a book. And my baby read books every single day of her life. My baby grew up reading books. I took my baby to Barnes and Nobles. Okay? All my kids, I took them to Barnes and Nobles on Saturdays after I get off of work. If I got off of work on early, or Sunday, because I was off of work on Sundays, I would take my kids to Barnes and Nobles and ask them to go pick out books. Read. Now my kids don't even want to read. They don't even want to pick up a book. You got to be kidding me. Now I'm going. My kids are going against me for what? You know, I grew up as a reader, and I'm still a reader. This is what I do. You know, and if I don't understand something, I'm gonna continue to read it again and again and again. Okay, so my theory is, if I'm a reader, I'm gonna train my kids to be readers. My daughter was reading at age 3. By age 5, she was able to read a whole paragraph. Okay? So why is it now she don't even like to read anymore? Because of what y'all doing to her. When her learning process was easy because I taught her the way I was taught as a child. But now that she's in school, she was doing well, but the way they want her to learn is so difficult and confusing, she don't even want to learn anymore. So who is the blame here? Is it the child? Is it the curriculum? Or is it the government with their nonsense? Somebody tell me. Because these kids need to comprehend, because they're going to be the ones that's going to be ruling the world in the next 10, 20, 30 years. You want dummies ruling your world? I mean, ruling America? I mean, really, did you get mad? Now you want to kill them all off because they stupid. But this is what you created. This is what you've created. You want to get rid of rap music because you can't even understand what they're saying. You got to do translations on basic English because this is what you taught them. Because you can't understand it, you want to get rid of it. But I had to sit down and learn their way of thinking because of the way y'all taught them. And being a mom that has been in homeschooling, even before COVID, I got to see some of this stuff, you know? And don't get me wrong, my daughter's school is pretty good. You know, they're teaching her even Bible history. Well, they took that out the schools a long time ago. You know, so I'm thankful. I'm going to say I'm thankful because they're touching base with stuff that a lot of the schools, the regular schools, has taken out of the curriculum. Now, I get it. Not everybody is Christian, so you don't want to, and I get why they did that because you have your Muslims, you have your Christians, you have just different religions. That's why you teach basic religion. Okay? When you hear me talk about religion, I talk about Muslims, I talk about Christians, I talk about Buddhism, I talk about all of it. So if you have a classroom full of people and you teach them basic religion, okay? And basic religion is about the one God. That's when you have maybe 2 or 3 say, hey, well, I'm growing up as a Muslim. They can raise their hand. Well, can you tell us about the Muslim religion? Well, I'm growing up as a Catholic, a Christian. Well, can you tell us about that type of thing? And this is what we're going to touch base on. Teach them about all of it. But just don't take it away. This is why we're dealing with this stuff. It's not because these children are just stupid, y'all. And I'm going to just give it to y'all. It's not that. The government has done this to us. They have made us dislike these kids. And it's not fair because some of these kids are really loving, kind kids. They just don't comprehend because they haven't taught them how to. They've taken certain things away. They're controlling their education. And it's not fair. And now they're scared of them. But this is what y'all did. How y'all gonna be scared of something y'all created? Think about it. So yeah, they need to really start looking into these curriculums. And I mean statewide. I mean countrywide. Throughout the whole America. I look at the numbers of, like when I came here to Charlotte, I wanted to see how many people graduate in this state. The numbers were really low in this state for a lot of things when I first got here. And I was like, wow, this is not a state that I want to live in. Before you move to a new state, people, that's what we do. We don't just pick up and move to the state because the state is nice or the state look good. You have to do your research. You have to do your research on how much money the state has, how many people work in the state, what is the top pay in the state. They even got numbers of the ugliest people and how they dress and, because you never know who you're touching base with when you walk in the street. You can have a tourist coming by just to visit and they're looking at you. And this is why I'm always kind when I'm out, in the city, and try not to do things out of whack. So, because you never know who you're running into. There could be somebody else from another state and they could have millions and millions of dollars want to bring money to your state. But because they seen a couple of people acting crazy, they're like, oh, forget that. I'm not coming here. So me personally, I take responsibility for myself. And when I get out there in the streets, I act a certain kind of way. So, when people see me and they're around me, it's okay, there's kind people here, Yeah, okay. I might take the chance and move here. I don't want to be one of those that was looked down upon. So they say, ooh, I don't think I want to move here because I know if it's people like her here, I know she's not the only one because this is what the state is teaching them. Okay? You have to have order everywhere you go. Okay? So you can bring money into the state. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And that's why I love Maryland so much because they have order. Not everybody lives in the city of Baltimore. And of course, in the city, things are going to be rough because it's the city. Everything goes down in the city. But I will say, Baltimore, y'all don't even realize how good y'all really have it. And I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. Y'all have community centers. Okay? You would never know what you have until you lose it. Okay? Y'all have community centers. Y'all have shelters. Y'all have where they give out food, good food. Okay? You're not getting stuff that's expired. Y'all get these type of things. Housing. Okay, well you can get, if you're homeless, you can go apply for housing and get Section 8 through that housing. Okay? Where the list is not 3, 4, 5 years long. Okay? So, you have where you can go, and if you need a security deposit, that the city will help you with that. Like I said, you don't know what you have until it's taken away from you. Because not all states have these things, and these people struggle to get some of this stuff. Shout out to Maryland, once again, they do teach these kids up there how to comprehend. I do say that, shout out to you guys. That's why the waves are a little bit different up there, and yeah, Charlotte still has some things to work on. South Carolina still has some things to work on. The South itself has some things to work on, however, I do believe a lot of that is coming from the schools. And it needs to get better. Why is it kids growing up here that graduated school and they're going to jail? Well, why? They walked the stage and now they're sitting in somebody's jail or having problems with the police. Where's the comprehension level at, people? You know, it's really, it's getting to me. You know, when I see these kids can be something, but they don't even comprehend what was going on. You know, it takes for them to have a strong parent, a very strong parent that has comprehended life. Or if they lost their paths, sometimes parents lose their paths as well as children. But if they had something within them, it's going to come back. Okay? That's why people say, oh, forget about the past. No, you can never forget about the past. Because if you know you ain't doing something right and you touch base with somebody that is, and it's been in your life, oh, it's going to come back and it's going to haunt you until you change. Because you know that's not your way. That's not the way you were taught. Okay? So it will haunt you until you get it right. And this is what's happening with these kids in this era. That we have 3 eras right now that's out here. We have what generation is the Z generation, I think. Let me see. Egypt. Yeah. What generation is Junior? Baby boomer. No. I forgot, y'all, but I had broken it down. It's 3 generations that's out right now. I had it in my head, but I forgot. Y'all know I'm getting old. But those 3 generations is the ones that's coming up right now. And we got to have this thing. We have to stop this thing for the new generation, like the new babies that's being born right now. Okay? Because we don't want them to be like the last 2 generations. Okay? Like I said, some kids don't have hard parents. Some parents allow the school to be their kids' parents. Because they're working all the time trying to survive and pay bills. They're not even paying attention to what's going on with their kids. The teachers are paying more attention. You know, I had touch base with a lady at work, you know, and she was telling me about her husband. Her husband is a teacher. And how, you know, he has this one girl that he focused on a lot, you know, because she's going through issues or whatever the case may be. And I said, well, tell them to, you know, continue to help her, you know, because she may not have that parent at home that's going to focus on her like that. You know, see, I focus on my kids. You know, I know every movement. Call me that nosy parent. I'm in your business. I'm sorry. I have to be, because you were put here for me to protect you. And I tell them all the time, not on my watch. When you get out there on your own and you make your own choices, that's on you. But while you with me, it's on my watch. And I'm not going to be to blame for something negative happening to you, or you're not doing things the proper way. Because stuff like that will turn back on you if you don't take care of your children the way you're supposed to. It's in the Bible, people. You know? So y'all need to pay attention. And that's the other thing, comprehending the Bible. I know it's hard, y'all. I know it's hard. It's not easy. Being in this book, this Bible book, is the hardest thing ever. But you got to learn it. So you'll learn how to live life. Comprehend it. So you can teach your kids how to comprehend and live life. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. I'm getting new names every single day, y'all. They just give me a new name. Every day somebody is giving me a new name. Whew, I'm just glad they ain't called me Sunshine again. They used to call me Sunshine in Maryland. I hated it, y'all. But they always giving me a new name. I'm not going to keep adding all these names. But I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Y'all stay good and safe.